after that disturbing report in the New York Times where Redskins cheerleaders allegedly posed topless in front of sponsors and FedEx Field suite holders, the team responded. We've got sports director Darren Haynes standing by with more of the details on the response. Hey, D.
Yeah, Adam, if this story is true, it could forever change the landscape of Redskins cheerleading. We have a statement, part of what Bruce Allen put out. Here's a response, including the following. Based on the dialogue we've had with a number of current and former cheerleaders over the past 48 hours, we've heard very different firsthand accounts that directly contradict many of the details of the May 2nd article. Now, I can promise that once we have completed looking into this matter, if it is revealed that any of our employees acted inappropriately, those employees will face significant repercussions. Now, I spoke to a few NFL cheerleaders from other teams. They say they've never experienced anything like what the Redskins cheerleading team is being accused of. If they did, one cheerleader says, quote, "I would leave the team immediately." Now, we'll have more on why the Skins took down part of their cheerleading website later on tonight.
Carol is